Hello Searcher fans, I'm Norm Fujimoto from Izorline. Today is your Thursday tackle tip courtesy of Izorline. One of the things we want to do now is to work on our reels. One of the things that we forget to do after a trip is to remove the monofilament or fluorocarbon off all our reels. One of the things we want to do is to make sure we dry the spectra on our reels after every trip. We need to place our reels in a well-ventilated place, and it takes 2-3 days minimum for the spectra to dry after we take off the fluorocarbon and the monofilament. If you don't take it off, it helps retain the moisture and does not allow the spectra to dry. The other tip is to remove your spectra once a year. And how do we do that? There's a couple easy ways. One is to just take a spool with a threaded rod, put it in a drill, your drill, and then you can just take it off with the drill. Make sure you put it on the spool as tight as possible. Another way is to take a Swifty line remover kit, and you can get these at Izorline Fishing Tackle in Carson. And again, you take the kit, you place it in the drill, and you remove your spectra. After you remove your spectra, you'll be on the spool, or if it's a Swifty line remover, it'll look like this. You would take the spectra, place it in a bucket now, and run some fresh water through it for a while to get rid of all the salt. The salt doesn't hurt the spectra, but it's not good for your spool of your reel. Take your reels, look at them. You might find some salt deposits. Make sure you wash off the inside of your reel really well. Dry it, look for oxidation spots. If you find any, kind of clean them up the best you can, and we want to seal them so no more oxygen gets to those oxidation points. You can do it with epoxy, or I tend to use fingernail polish. 2 or 3 coats of fingernail polish works really well, and it seals it off. After I seal everything off, I tend to wax the spool. I use this woody carnauba wax, which is a marine wax and does a good job, but a car wax or any wax will do. After the wax dries and I wipe it off, I can then put the spectra back on. The important thing to remember is it needs to be packed on as tight as possible. I would recommend doing it with a line winder. That way you can get it on tight. If you do it you can do it by hand, but it's very difficult because when you're through, you want the spectra so tight when you press, there is no give. It's rock hard. And that's very important because if it's soft, you catch a fish, the spectra will dig into the spool and you might potentially break off, which we don't want. So make sure that it's on very, very tight. This is your tackle tip for Thursday. Have a great fishing season in 2021.